Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata-sevayā Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Aradhyo bhagavan vrajeshatanayas Tadhama vrindavanam Ramya kachitupasana vrajavadho vargena va kalpita Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam pramanamamalam prema pumartho mahan Śrī Caitanya-Mahāprabhur matamidam tatradharana paraha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 47. This is a new, fresh chapter entitled Brahmara Gita. Brahmara is bee. So this chapter is entitled The Song of the Bee. And just to give a quick background, Uddhava has reached Vrindavan. He met with Nanda and Yashoda, spent the whole night talking about the message of the Supreme Lord and different philosophical points. And Nanda practically spent the whole night with him. The whole night passed away. And the last chapter was very, very deep in that aspect. And the Gopis saw that a chariot has appeared. Next morning when they got up, they saw a golden chariot is there. Is Akrura back? Is the same Akrura who took our dear life and soul away? Does he now want to take our body and put in the fire of Kamsa's last rites? Is that the reason he has come? In anger. And then they realized, oh, it's not Akrura. The sun rises and they realized it's none other than none other than Uddhava. And just to share something, I was yesterday talking to one of my friends in ISV. They have built this very nice app called versecircle.com. Very easy, you can do on phone or on computer. It's very, very nice verses, bhajans, prayers. And I was asking him some questions. So he said this for me to have a look at this. Prayers before reciting Bhagwatam, prayers for worshipping the Lord. So in this section, there are multiple Prata Smaranam. Prata means morning. And in this verse, as I was reading through, there are many verses, and this has been personally, mentored and by His Grace Visheshika Prabhu, and the ISV youth have built this, youth like teenagers, young adults. And here comes this verse, which we just read yesterday, 10:46-46. This is the uh, third last verse of the chapter. Udgaitanam arvindalochanam. The gopis are singing very loudly. Rajagananam divam aprishad dhvanihi dadnascha niramantha na shabda mishrito nirasyat yena disham amangalam. The sound of the gopis as they loudly sang the glories of the lotus-eyed Krishna, Arvindalochana, mixed with the tinkling of their bells as they churned butter, reached the heavens and destroyed all the inauspicious in every direction. So this is Bhata Smaranam prayers of Raja. We can also try to memorize this verse if you feel like, and this will help us to remember Raja, remember Gopis, remember lotus-eyed Krishna, and it will destroy all inauspiciousness in our life. As I was hearing some classes on one who does Mangal Aarti, nothing amangal can happen in their life. Mrityu छू nahi sakti usko. Mrityu cannot touch the person who does this, remembering Krishna. Anyways, this came fresh, so I thought to connect. And now the gopis are seeing Uddhava. So a summary of this chapter. This chapter describes how Uddhava, on the order of Lord Sri Krishna, delivered the Lord's message to the gopis, consoled them, and then returned to Mathura. When the young maidens of Braja saw lotus-eyed Uddhava, who wore a yellow garment and attractive earrings, they were astonished at how much he resembled Krishna, thinking, "Who is this?" They approached and encircled him. When they realized that Krishna must have sent him, they brought him to a secluded place where he could speak to them confidentially. The gopis then began to remember the pastimes they had enjoyed with Sri Krishna, and putting aside all ordinary propriety and shyness, they loudly wept. One gopi, while deeply meditating on her association with Krishna, noticed a bumblebee before her. Imagining the bee to be a messenger from him, she said, "Just as the bees wander among various flowers, Sri Krishna has abandoned the young girls of Raja and developed affection for the other women." The gopi continued to speak in this way, contrasting her own supposed ill fortune to her rival lover's good fortune, all the while glorifying the names, forms, qualities, and pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna. She then declared that although Krishna may have abandoned the gopis, they could not possibly stop remembering him for even a moment. Uddhava tried to console the damsels of Braja, who were so anxious to see Krishna once again. Uddhava explained, while ordinary persons must perform many pious deeds to qualify as servants of Lord Sri Krishna, you simple cowherd girls are so extremely fortunate that the Lord has favored you with the very highest degree of pure devotion for Him. Uddhava then related to them the Lord's message. Quoting Lord Krishna, Uddhava said, anyone else wants to read from here? Is more. Anyone wants to complete the summary?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I can read it. Quoting Lord Krishna, Uddhava said, I am the supreme soul and supreme shelter of all. By my potencies, I create, maintain, and destroy the cosmos. I am indeed most dear to you, Gopis, but to increase your attraction for me and intensify your remembrance of me, I left you. After all, when a woman's beloved is far away, she fixes her mind upon him constantly. By incessantly remembering me, you are sure to regain my association without delay. The Gopis then asked Uddhava, is Krishna happy now that Kamsa is dead and he can enjoy the company of his family members and the women of Mathura? Does he still remember all the pastimes he enjoyed with us, such as the rasa dance? Will Sri Krishna once again appear before us and give us ecstasy, just as Lord Indra, with his rains, gives life back to the forest, aggrieved by the summer heat? Although we know that the greatest happiness comes from renunciation, we simply cannot stop hoping to attain Krishna, for the marks of his lotus feet are still present throughout the land of Raja, reminding us of his graceful giant, generous smiles, and gentle talks. By all these, our hearts have been stolen away. Having said this, the gopis loudly chanted Lord Krishna's names, calling out, O Govinda, please come and destroy our suffering. Uddhava then pacified the gopis with statements that dispelled their pain of separation, and they in turn worship him as non different from Sri Krishna. Uddhava stayed in the yes, Uddhava stayed in the district of Raja for several months, giving pleasure to the residents by reminding them about Krishna in various ways. Very satisfied at seeing the extent of the gopis' love for the Lord, he declared, these cowherd girls have perfected their lives by coming to the platform of unalloyed love for Krishna. Indeed, even Lord Brahma is inferior to them. The goddess of fortune herself, who always resides on Krishna's chest, could not get the same mercy as that which the gopis obtained during the rasa dance. When Krishna embraced their necks with his mighty arms, what then to speak of their other women? Indeed, I would consider myself most fortunate to take birth as even a bush or creeper that would sometimes be touched by the dust of these gopis' lotus feet. Finally, Uddhava entreated Nanda Maharaj and the other cowherd men for permission to go back to Mathura. Nanda presented him with many gifts and prayed to Uddhava for the ability to always remember Krishna. Returning to Mathura, Uddhava offered Balarama, Krishna, and King Ugrasena the gifts sent by Nanda Maharaj and described to them everything he had experienced in Vraja. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Very well. Thank you. So, very powerful. That Uddhava spent months here in Vrindavan and learned about the pure unalloyed love of the gopis. So let's begin. There are about 70 verses in this chapter, so let's begin this journey. Shri Shuka Uvacha Tam Vikshaya Krishnachuram Tam Vikshaya Krishanucharam Vrajastriyaha Pralambabahum Navakanjalochanam Pitambaram Pushkaramalinam Lasan Mukharavindam Parimrishtakundalam Suvismitako ayam api vyadarshanaha Kutascha kasya bhushana iti sma sarva parivarurutsukas tam uttamashlokapadam bujashrayam. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shukdev Goswami said, the young woman of Raja became astonished upon seeing Lord Krishna's servant, who had long arms, whose eyes resembled the newly grown lotus, who wore a yellow garment and a lotus garland, and whose lotus-like face glowed with brightly polished earrings. Who is this handsome man? The gopis asked. Where has he come from? And whom does he serve? He is wearing Krishna's clothes and ornaments. Saying this, the gopis eagerly crowded around Uddhava, whose shelter was the lotus feet of Lord Uttamashloka, Kṛṣṇa. Haribol. So the description about Uddhava is mentioned here. The gopis are seeing him practically the first time, and he resembles Krishna almost like ditto, twin copy. And he is so many attributes are mentioned: lotus-eyed, long arms, yellow garments, lotus-like face. All these words are used to describe the Supreme Lord. So they are very curious to know, who is he? Whom does he serve? Basically, who is his master? From where he has come? All these are natural questions, because he does not resemble that he's from Raja. So Vishnu Thakur mentions Uddhava hears the 10 types of Chitra Jalpa in this chapter. Chitra Jalpa. We know the word Prajalpa, right? Prajalpa is futile talks or Gramya Katha. He said, she said, wasteful talks which are very dear to the conditioned mind, and conditioned mind can spend hours doing that. But this is called Chitra Jalpa, Radha's surprising talk or prattling. What's the word prattling? Manjali, can you look? Prattling. Symptomatic of the highest stage of divine love, madness, or Mahabhava. He then gives Krishna's message to the gopis, praises them, and returns to Mathura to report to Krishna. 10 types of highest talk from Sri Radharani. The word Suvismitaha is used here. Very, very astonished. Vismitaha, like shocked, surprised. The gopis were surprised, thinking, how did Uddhava obtain Krishna's yellow dhoti and his lotus garland? They were very surprised. In some edition, Suvismita means Suchismitaha, which means a gopi smiles are pure. Shuchi means Shuddha. Because the joy arising from seeing Uddhava in a dress which reminded them Kṛṣṇa. So the word Susmita, multiple meaning. One is surprise, the other is Shuddha. The prattling refers to talking at length about unimportant or foolish matters, like barbadana, babbling. But when gopis are talking about Kṛṣṇa, it becomes transcendental. It's not prajalpa, it's chitrajalpa. So the gopis are also asking, who is this handsome man? Where does he come from? Whose servant is he? They have a lot of thoughtful questions here. The gopis became very, very excited over the possibility of obtaining some news about their Kṛṣṇa, because he resembled like Kṛṣṇa, and they almost mistook him for Kṛṣṇa. Who is he? They are very, very curious. Any other thoughts, comments? So, and if we see this chapter in a summary, in a pictorial form, this is a summary of the chapter. So we are going to study this whole thing, the 70 verses. Now, Uddhava is conversing with the gopis. Previous day, he was conversing with Nanda and Yashoda. So they are very surprised to see him. They want to know about him because they want to, maybe there's a possibility of knowing something about their Kṛṣṇa. So let's see what happened further. Next verse, anyone wants to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can read.
Yes.
Tam prashrayena susatkritam Tam prashrayena susatkritam savrirahaसे kshana sunritadibhi rahasya prichanno pavishtamanase vigyaya sandeshaharam ramapateha. Translation by the disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Bowing their heads in humility, the gopis duly honored Uddhava with their shy, smiling glances and pleasing words. They took him to a quiet place, seated him comfortably, and began to question him, for they recognized him to be a messenger from Kṛṣṇa, the master of the goddess of fortune. Purport: the chaste gopis were enlivened to see that a messenger had come from Kṛṣṇa. As Uddhava will discover during his stay in Vrindavan, the unique gopis could not think of anything but their beloved Kṛṣṇa. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very well. So imagine us as the gopis, whose life and soul is Kṛṣṇa, and he has been away for many, many months. And now I mean, at that time, there was no like video call, FaceTime, WhatsApp, updates, voice notes, nothing. They have no news about Krishna. How will they feel? How will we feel? No updates, no news about our life and soul, Krishna. And suddenly one day they woke up in the morning while they're done with their regular stuff, they see this Uddhava. They're so happy. Mm. And they have mixed emotions, shy, smiling glances, pleasing words. They began to ask questions because they realized that this person is none other than the servant or messenger of Krishna, bowing their heads with humility. Being naturally bashful, they covered their heads with their veils. This bashfulness suddenly appears on its own upon meeting any respectable person. This was Vedic culture. And as even we see in the Gita, shyness is an ornament of a woman. Kali Yuga, if we talk about this, many will get offended. Even devotees get offended, what to speak of non-devotees. So I will not go into that topic. But yet, one should be humble. One should understand that there are certain differences. Yes, we are all spirit souls, but there are certain differences on the bodily level and emotional level and physio-psychological levels. Mm. Thinking that Uddhava must be an intimate friend of their beloved, the Gopis smiled, looked at him with curious eyes, greeted him with pleasing words. Su Sun Sunrita, pleasing words. That's an amazing quality which we all can also learn, to greet everyone with pleasing words of welcome and worship him with foot wash and other items suitable for time and place. As I was reflecting on this Bhagwatam time and again talks about worshipping, greeting, guest reception as per suitable time and place. Bhishmadev also greeted Krishna at the deathbed with kind words. He could not offer Chappan Bhoga, but as per time and place, one should do the needful. Then they asked Uddhava in private, Rahasya, because see, they cannot ask, imagine, they cannot ask in front of Nanda and Yashoda, right? Because this is their confidential pastimes with Krishna. Hmm. And externally, they have been married, right? To others. Of course, they're all expansions of Krishna. Internally, we know that, but externally, Krishna was experiencing the highest Parakya rasa. So, therefore, this meeting happened little private, secluded. Hmm. By his coming promptly to such a place, they understood that Uddhava was bearing news. So Uddhava promptly came to that place, so as if he had also something to share with them, right? He must have requested, somehow signaled, can we meet you here? And Uddhava came. Shukdev Goswami, siding with the gopis, showed some jealousy towards Krishna by addressing him as Ramapatehe, Ramapati, sorry. Ramapati. Shukdev Goswami is siding with the gopis, exhibiting little jealousy. Because Shukdev Goswami is who? Who is Shukdev Goswami? Yeah, he's in, or like in Radharani's team, the divine parrot of Radharani. Ramapatehe, the husband of Lakshmi. So here the Krishna is addressed as Ramapatehe, Sandeshaharam Ramapatehe. Vigyaya Sandeshaharam Ramapatehe. This is the meter of these. Rahasya Prichan Upavishtam Asane Vigyaya Sandeshaharam Ramapatehe. The husband of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. The goddess of fortune herself is coming soon to Mathura to make Krishna happy. So, what purpose could Krishna have in making a pretense of sending messages to the cowherd girls? So, in short, they are curious about this whole, messenger. What is he going to say? And they're asking questions with humility in a secluded place. Any thoughts? Okay, let's read the next verse. Anyone wants to read text number 4? Anyone who has not read?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai. Janimastvam yadupate parshadam sampagatam samupagatam bhartreha presita pitror bhavan priya chikishaya. Translation and purport by Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The Gopis, we know that you are the personal servant of Krishna, the chief of the Yadus, and that you have come here on the order of your good master, who desires to give pleasure to his parents. So Uddhava wants to, Uddhava has come and he wants, the Gopis are asking him that you are the personal servant and you are the dear friend for Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. We know that who you are, so we do not have to ask. You're a follower of the Lord, the Yadus. Yadu Patehe, chief of the Yadus. The Gopis are implying that even though Krishna is of the cowherd community, he is now living in the as the king of Yadus. Having attained such a big post, why would he want to come back here? Therefore, it means, O Uddhava, that Krishna has sent you, not for us, but to pacify. Complete the word pacify. His parents. We read that, right? Who gives pleasure to his parents. So this is like a transcendental, envy here. It may seem like chatter, but this is the Chitra Jalpa, at a very high state of their emotions. That you don't care about us. You care, he doesn't care about us. He cares about maybe his parents. That's why he must have sent you. After all, who are we? We are just ordinary cowherd girls making butter and playing with yogurt and cow dung. And he, Yadupate, the king of the Yadus, and you are his servant. So, Uddhava, that Krishna has sent you not for us but to pacify his mother and father. In other words, we think that Krishna has sent you out of fear of criticism from the public who might say, what use has Krishna for his parents who are cowherd people? Nanda and Yashoda may cry themselves to death, but Krishna will simply stay here in Mathura and rule as king. O charming fellow, the crest jewel of the intelligent persons has sent you to satisfy his parents. Having come here, you should go to Nanda and Yashoda. Upon receiving you, they will forget about Krishna in their ecstasy. Indeed, the sharpness of Krishna's intelligence has come in handy. So they're like sarcastic and criticizing also, like, oh, he's very intelligent. You see, it's the sharpness of Krishna has come handy. They're saying, no, 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 go to Nanda and Yashoda. Well, technically, he was the whole night with Nanda and Yashoda. The Gopis said to him, okay, we want to talk to you, we want to know about Krishna. But now when they're there, they're saying, no, no, go to Nanda and Yashoda. This is transcendental emotion here. The sharpness of Krishna's intelligence is going to come handy now to pacify Nanda and Yashoda. In this way, there are many such implications of criticism hidden in the Gopis' words of false praise. False praise. He's very sharp. He is the king of the Yadus, right? They're which arise as the subtle new birds on the tree of their words. So poetic. Many implications of criticism hidden in the Gopis' words of false pride, false praise, which arise as the new birds on the tree of their words. So poetic. Tree of their words, there is false praise, but they're criticizing that basically Krishna is. What is the criticism? Krishna is not caring towards us. Krishna does not remember us. Krishna is heartless. And he has not sent you to pacify us, but to his parents. He doesn't care about. He's not thinking about us. So these are transcendental emotions. Any thoughts, comments? Okay. Next verse, anyone would like to read? Manjulali, you want to?
Text 5. Anyatha go vrajetasya smaraniyam na chakshmahe snehanu bandhunam munirapi tushyajaha. We see nothing else he might consider worth remembering in these cow pastures of Vraja. Indeed, the bonds of affection for one's family members are difficult to break, even for a sage.
Any thoughts here? Comments? So the Gopis are saying that he has come, that he has sent Uddhava to pacify Nanda and Yashoda. Why? Because after all, it's there. He is. They are his family. Who are we? He remembers them, not us. What is here worth remembering in this Vraja? The cow dung, the butter, the cows. What is there? Like imagine someone goes to a big town, and why will he remember his village? There's nothing worth remembering. And poor Nanda and Yashoda, yeah, he might have remembered them because after all, family members, right? The bonds are hard to break. That's the only reason. In short, they are complaining or transcendentally criticizing that he does not remember us. That's the hidden complaint there. He has not sent Uddhava for us, but for maybe Nanda and Yashoda. So go to them. They want to talk to Uddhava. They want to hear about Krishna from him. But they are exhibiting this transcendental pride and criticizing, and it's a mix of a lot of implications. Bonds of affection are hard to break. That's actually true. Even Kunti Maharani says that. Sneha pasha dridam chandi. Oh Krishna, please break my ties to my family. It's very hard to break. Not because even though the family, they're like Arjuna, Pandavas, they were like such exalted, she's referring to the Pandavas, they were so exalted devotees, but even Kunti Maharani is saying there that I may sometimes perceive them not as devotees, but as my children. So that outlook, is not easy. Any thoughts here? How is it possible for Krishna, who is even disregarding his parents, his own mother and father, if Krishna has disregarded even his own mother, father, how is it possible for such persons like us to have a place in its memory at all? हिंदी में बोले तो अरे वो बोलते ना, ये तो अपनों को नहीं याद करता तो औरों को क्या याद करेगा? इसके तो अपने ही इसके पराये हैं. Like he doesn't care about his own husband, wife, or parents. What do you expect him to care for neighbors, friends? Right? That's the meaning they're showing. He's such a careless person. They're saying, Gopis are saying he's such a thoughtless person. He doesn't properly care about Nanda and Yashoda also. Those are family members. What can we expect him, heartless, careless person, to remember us? Who are and what is worth remembering about us? Anyways, we are no one. हम आपके हैं कौन? Who are we? Right? Even those who take sannyas find it hard to give up the relationship with their father and mother. But Krishna has very easily given up his relationship with countless wives of others whom he had enjoyed. Just see the severity of Krishna's renunciation. Oh, Krishna. Just see how renounced he is. The gopis are having this transcendental criticism. Even a sannyasi, thinks about his parents, that I must, and occasionally goes to take care of them as needed, or calls them, asks about their well-being. But this Krishna, no news. Look at his renunciation. He is so renounced. Any thoughts? So we can meditate on this. Read the first 5 verses and the summary of this chapter. This is the paradox of divine separation. The Gopis have this unimaginable prema. The Gopis are expressing their pain of separation in all these verses. Their criticism, there's a verse also, right? जो वेदों की स्तुति में कृष्णा को आनंद नहीं मिलता जो ब्रज की गाली में. Although they are saying Krishna, he is heartless, careless, emotionless, which is like bad words, right? If someone says, hey, you're heartless, hey, you're careless, you don't remember even your own family. These are not so nice words, but so kind of like galis. But this is very dear to Krishna than his own, than the big stutis of the Vedas. Any thoughts, comments, questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, very nice and very wonderful, Prabhuji. So question I have is like Uddhava, I heard somewhere that Uddhava also looks like Krishna, right? Like he is wearing the dhoti also yellow. And I heard that he looks like Krishna also because he is always thinking about Krishna something. Can you please give us some clarity, Prabhu here?
Yes, this came up in the last chapter, Uddhava's connection to Krishna. Who was he in relation to Krishna? What was the relationship between them? Anyone knows? He was cousin. He was the cousin of the Supreme Lord. So Uddhava was very, very intelligent. He was a great counselor. So we read that in the beginning of the last chapter. Very expert and a direct disciple of Brihaspati, a beloved friend of Sri Krishna. In the purport it was mentioned, yes, here. As said in third canto by Lord himself, no Uddhavo anvapi man nyunaha. Uddhava is not even slightly different from me. Resembling Krishna so much, Uddhava was a perfect person to carry out the Lord's mission in Vrindavan. So yes, he absolutely, they were like alike. And it's also mentioned in the Harivamsha that Uddhava is the son of Vasudev's brother Devabhaga. So they were like cousins, the first cousin. Chacha ka beta ho gaya, right? Krishna's uncle Devabhaga, his son Uddhava, cousin brother. So he was his cousin brother, he was his very dear friend, and cousin brothers, they are like, and especially like previous time, they were like brothers. They used to live in the same house, same kingdom, in the same age group. They developed very close friendship. and they look similar. So Uddhava was a very appropriate person. He understood, close, so friendship here, family connection, very intelligent, Brihaspati's disciple. So in that way, basically, he understood Kṛṣṇa. And Kṛṣṇa, whom do we give, this is a very confidential, message Kṛṣṇa gave for his Gopis, parents. Whom will you give a very confidential, like giving password to your account? Whom you really put trust, right? So he was a very trustworthy person for Kṛṣṇa. Does that help? And yes, he resembled Kṛṣṇa. He looked like Kṛṣṇa, and the Gopis also said that. Who is he resembling? Like we read today only, his arms, his hands, and garland, and earrings, and everything. So yes, devotee, friend, cousin. In all ways, he was just like Kṛṣṇa. Haribol, thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम पुराण की जय, जगद्गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, सामवेद गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Thank you. Hare Krishna.